On the show this week, we have Colonel Bedi, Chairman and MD from Tulip Telecom.
Today, our network reaches more than 2,000 cities, which is probably one of the largest networks. We are an infrastructure-light company.
How did it all start for you? I mean, Tulip Telecom from the army, it's been quite a switch, hasn't it? And the rise of Tulip Telecom, how quick?
Well, the reality is that even in the army, I was not really a technical person. I was in the armed corps, which is tanks basically.
Right.
But the army teaches you everything.
So was it difficult to make that switch, get away from army and say, okay, I want to actually set up something in technology?
When one starts a business, at that time one is just looking at surviving. The reality is that everyone from the army normally wants to join a job because of the security that it offers. And normally people would join security companies and that kind of a role, or admin if they were very adventurous. But it was very rare that someone really became an entrepreneur. I did take a shot at entrepreneurship, and I got into this business of getting into software resellership. So became basically selling software products, and then of course one kept growing.
What is your ambition for the company, and how did it turn from a small cap to a mid cap to a larger mid cap as it has turned today?
Well, one started business as a software products guy, got into hardware, got into networking, but we really hit our niche when we got into the business of wireless. And when we got to wireless about 8-10 years back, there was nobody else, a very small player, and we suddenly started setting up large networks. So one of the networks we set up was a network for covering a complete district of Malappuram in Kerala. And the government started a project of ensuring that at least one member of every family is computer literate.
Wow.
So once we did that project, we realized that you could get into this new business of providing data connectivity.
Yeah.
So that is when we really started. This was in the year 2004.
When did it come when you thought that, okay, this is really working for me?
In the year 2005, when we really started this business, that time we were a 200 crore company, a 200 crore revenue company. So that is when we realized that we had a good business going and we needed to look at a way of really growing this company. And that is when I started looking for money. A bank came in. He says, what's your hurry? I said, I need 30 crore. And the government had just come up with a new rule which said that you needed to pay 10 crores as an entry fee.
Entry fee, oh, okay.
For this new business.
So already the costs were going up.
Yeah. So I needed to pay 10 crores for an entry fee for becoming a VPN provider. Earlier I used to do it as an ISP where there were no charges. So I said, yeah, I have to pay this money. So he said, look, how much you need today? I said, I need 30 crores. He said, but how much you need today? I said, 15 crores today and 15 crores after a month. He said, sir, I'll give you 15 crores, no collateral, no debt, no collateral, no equity, nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll give you another 15 crores after 1 month.
Which bank was this?
Yes, Bank.
Yes, Bank.
So they gave me a loan of 15 crores and they said, just allow us to raise the money for you. After a week, 10 days, he said, look, we're getting an investor. You just have your children sitting with you, nothing else. So my son was already working with me. My daughter had worked and she was studying abroad, but she was in town. So the three of us sat and we gave a presentation to the gentleman. He heard my presentation, he says, I'm on. So he said, okay, let's meet for breakfast tomorrow. We'll decide the price. So third day we met. He said, okay, I'll give you 90 crores for 40% of your equity. I said, great. So I was on. I said, fine. I said, I have only one condition, that this is a new business that I'm starting, in which I'm going to be competing with the largest players.
Yes. So how did you de-risk that concept to everyone?
It was a different business that we're getting into. So today everyone is in voice, whereas we're into data. So this guy, I just told him, look, I have only one condition. I need the money in 45 days.
Okay. 45 days, 90 crores.
No, but that's not the story. Today our network reaches more than 2,000 cities, which is probably one of the largest networks. We are an infrastructure-light company.
We were actually telling our viewers about your story of Tulip Telecom. 90 crores in 45 days changed life for the company. What was the turning point for it after that?
The gentleman didn't give me the money. So I immediately went for the IPO. IPO was oversubscribed almost 24 times. So that was the starting point. But if you see our business, basically if you look at the large telcos, they're all in voice. As per the telecom regulator, the voice is data is a very small part of the business of the large players. We are a pure data player. So we decided to get into the data market where we don't compete with anyone. But our main business, our focus is now to become the largest data player. Today we have the advantage of having almost 80% of the 8,500 companies as our customers. All banks, all corporates, they are all our customers today. And today our network reaches more than 2,000 cities, which is probably one of the largest networks. We are an infrastructure light company. We haven't invested too much money in infrastructure.
How do you do it then? So where does your infrastructure come in from? Is that what you sort of keep as your variable cost all the time?
Yeah, so what you do is that you lease fiber bandwidth from Tata Bharti Reliance, Vodafone, Idea, BSNL, Power Grid, GAIL, RailTel. So you lease from everybody, but you have your own last mile. The advantage is that while there are 9 players who have intercity bandwidth, we are the one player who has the last mile.
So we're talking about a voice versus data business. Tell my viewers, how do they feel and touch Tulip Telecom on a daily basis?
Well, I don't do retail. So while I do not address the retail market, wherever they work, that organization will probably be connected by Tulip. So if it's a bank, it's a corporate, it's an enterprise, government, we touch everybody. We provide connectivity to most banks, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank.
So what started out as a software product attempt has actually totally changed its course.
And that has been the one of the fundamentals of our business. We keep changing our businesses in line with our knowledge levels as they keep increasing. You keep seeing more and more opportunities, you keep changing your business or growing your business in the appropriate direction.
So that's interesting. Now, so for you as an individual, this must be a great sense of achievement that you managed to turn the company from what was 200 crores at one point in 2005 to nearly 3,000 crores even in good times.
Yes, but the thing is that one has been lucky to have a great set of people, a great set of customers, and actually it's the customers who keep teaching us. You know, a customer will tell us, can you give me this, can you give me that, and we're always saying yes. And once you said yes, then we started finding ways how to do it. But that's been our strength, that, you know, we've always done what the customers have asked for. Today, we are really focusing on becoming the largest data company, primarily voice company.
Who's your competition? So for somebody who's trying to understand telecom,
so my main
Tulip
competition
Telecom
is Tata Bharti Reliance and BSNL.
That's big competition.
That's big competition. But in the VPN business, which is the core business, we have a 30% share of the market.
So, you know, there's always this big challenge when you create a company for the first time and build it up to a scale as to who will take it ahead next.
Well, son and daughter are very much a part of the company. They're very good at the job. But the reality is that they haven't yet reached the stage where they can be at the leadership position.
Yeah.
There's a CEO who runs the company, and there's a lot of senior management who drives the organization. And in due course, depending on what their interests are and how they perform, they will probably have to decide.
Did you dip into the army as well, or ex-army officers when you were actually building the business?
Not too many people in the sales part of it. Some people in the logistics part, yes. But the reality is, like in the army, there's a fighting arm and support arm. Here there's a sales guys and support guys.
Yeah.
Sales is what drives business. They come normally from the private space. But what I have been doing, I've been, you know, taking a lot of freshers and growing them. In fact, people who joined me as freshers about 18 years back have today reached very senior positions in the organization.
Private sector today is facing this about talent. Do you think it's a huge challenge even in your space, which is telecom, wireless? One, getting the talent, and second, keeping the talent, because attrition levels are also high.
See, there are very good people available, and today if you are a preferred destination for employees, everyone is willing to come. The senior most level people from any organization are willing to join you if you have a good brand and if they perceive you as a place where they can learn and grow.
But that seems to be a heartening statement coming from a promoter, organization head. Succession is one story. The other is to reinvent the business from time to time. And like I was telling our viewers, the hint of diversification. What does Colonel Bedi want to be? Does he want to be beyond Tulip Telecom? Does he want to be Tulip Telecom Plus? What do you want to be?
Starting off from software, hardware, networking, wireless, telecom, data connectivity. Today we are really looking at becoming the one shop where the customer doesn't need to go anywhere else. We are now looking at a lot of data adjoining services. Data center is going to be very important for us. In fact, we are setting up the world's third largest data center in Bangalore, which is almost 9 lakh square feet, which is far, far bigger than any other data centers.
What kind of investment is it coming at?
About 900 crores is what we're investing, but we're expecting to get a revenue of almost 1,000 crores per year. So, and it becomes a starting point for the growth of that business. Fundamental of our business has been you try new stuff, If it works.
So does that get you closer to the last mile story with the customer? So when you say the customer?
So last mile has been the starting for us. So we started with the last mile, like a typical Sardar. We started the other end and then we keep moving inward. So we started from the last mile and then we started moving inwards. Today we cover the end-to-end connectivity. Now the aim is to go beyond that. Well, we've been growing 20% year on year so far, consistently for the last few years, and this kind of growth will certainly continue. But the new lines of business that we're getting into, we will hope that they will, add a few more points.
So Colonel Bedi, where is the company going outside of India? Is there an opportunity that you want to take it international?
Yes, we have offices in New York and Singapore.
How aggressive are these offices and what kind of business are you doing there?
They're just starting points for our managed services there. But we also have our POPs, points of presence in East Coast, West Coast in US, London and Singapore. But the aim now is we've entered into a joint agreement with Hutch, where we have a joint marketing agreement with them, and we have a network pairing, where their entire network is accessible to us and our network is available to them. So they sell into India and we sell outside India into their network.
So based on these ambitions, your investors won't forgive me if I don't ask you, what kind of a assessment are you looking at on an annual basis in terms of rate of growth, margin expansion to keep the company on track?
Well, we've been growing 20% year on year so far, consistently for the last few years, and this kind of growth will certainly continue. But the new lines of business that we're getting into, we will hope that they will, add a few more points to the numbers.
So what are these new lines of businesses?
Managed services, data centers.
The data centers we talked about. Okay. And in terms of an investment, 5 years down, what is the revenue target? What targets are you keeping at every goal post to lift one from the other?
Well, 3 years down the line, we hope to be $1 billion company. But then we take it ahead from that. The reality is that telecom and these kind of businesses are very dynamic businesses. And the opportunities can certainly come. So it's worth looking out for opportunities, but don't speculate on them.
How do you think it's sort of marred the image of Indian telecom?
I think we as Indians are very self-deprecating. We always try to, talk against ourselves. I think India is doing a great job.
So did the 2G scam impact you in any way?
No, 2G scam is all on voice. We are purely into data. We have nothing to do with that at all. Although I did apply for 2G licenses, but I was late. So
did you apply during Raja's reign as the question?
Well, when the newspaper came, when the reports came in the newspaper that you could apply, so we also applied, but then we were late, so we
and in hindsight, you must be saying, thank God.
To the extent that yes, voice is a very commoditized business, and I don't think the companies that got licenses have made any great amount of money, and the investment would have been very large.
Yeah.
So in all likelihood, we may not have rolled out the network. We may not have gone ahead with the licenses. We didn't make the way it's turning out wouldn't have made sense, commercial sense.
And you want to keep your niche with data anyway.
That is the reality today. Globally, when you look at telecom companies, 60 to 70% of the revenues are data. In India, 98% of our business is voice.
Is that changing?
It will. As the market gets commoditized, it will. But by then, we hope to have moved fairly far ahead.
Fairly far ahead. Okay. Good luck with that goal. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being on.